Get started. All right. Okay. Welcome everyone for joining. And this is Crush 2024 webinar, How to Make 2024 Your Best Year Yet. And I'm wearing my hat here to wish you Merry Christmas in advance. Perhaps that's also why a number of people are not here yet, because I remember the last meeting, there were probably over 10 people who were on the call before I got started. But yes, we'll get started. And as people join, they would just catch along with us. Thank you for joining. I'm very excited about today. The information I'm going to be sharing with you today, very, very valuable. And I believe so strongly that they are going to be very, very transformative, helping you to take next level action so you can achieve next level results in your life. All right, I'm gonna move on to share my screen. Do you guys see my screen? Crush 2024, how to make 24 your best yet. If you see, can I just maybe see your thumbs up in the chat? Yes, no? Yes? Okay, awesome. Let's go. This is good. Welcome, 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 everyone joining. And the other thing too, okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you. And something else too, as I go along with the presentation, it's going to be very interactive. And I just want us to just participate because, hey, we want to make the most of the time we spend here together. So just like for you to engage as well, I'll be asking to post a comment in the chat box. So please participate. Let's make this time we spend here indeed an amazing time. You guys are down for that, right? Yes? Awesome. Let us go. So before I get started, can I just see by a show in the chat where you're joining from? If you can just type in what city that you're joining from. I just want to have an idea of that. What city are you joining from? Gatineau. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay. That's good. Oh, that's awesome. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Very welcome. As people join, hopefully they can also share where they are joining from as well. Okay. So my name is Franklin Ezenwa. This is actually the second time I'm doing this webinar, and I see some familiar faces from the last webinar that I hosted, which is awesome. So just a very quick background for myself. So I came into Canada a couple years ago from Lagos, Nigeria, just for my study. So I attended University of Windsor, specializing in software engineering, a computer science specializing in software engineering. And it was an interesting program. Obviously, I had my ups and downs coming in as an international student from thousands and thousands of miles away. But yes, I had a good time. I graduated from the university, and at the time, I started off a career journey as a software developer at IBM Canada. Landed my dream job at the time and got the opportunity to work on a bunch of interesting projects and also got to meet a number of awesome people as well in the process. I've always had the passion to help people, especially with assisting them with achieving their goals. And that was actually one of the major reasons and the driver that got me started in the area of speaking and writing as well. But more recently, I decided to answer a greater calling. Yeah, greater calling, I suppose, to help people on a different level in the area of coaching. I started up a coaching practice not so long ago. So I run a life coaching program where I work mostly with professionals to help them with achieving their personal and their professional goals, whether they're looking to increase their income so that they can buy their house or to donate more to charity, or maybe make some more investments, or they're looking to get in better shape so they can feel more confident in their own skin. Or maybe they're also just looking to improve their connection with God. So those are areas that I help people with achieving results in. And I'm just very excited and happy about the progress I've been able to help other people to achieve. I'll get the opportunity to talk a little bit more about the program and for anyone who would be interested in connecting with me on that front. I've also had the opportunity to have published 3 books. These are actually Amazon bestselling books, to God's glory. And they were born out of a place of problems I had gone through that I was able to solve, or experiences that I had. I did not want to keep the experiences to myself, so I wanted to just, have a way to help more people through my story. And that was what led me to write the book. Actually, you can actually see some of them here. All right. So the first one, Be a High Achiever, that's a book I wrote after graduating from the university with a great distinction. I just wanted a way to help the set of students coming in after me. So I decided to write that book. The second one, Crack the Dream Job Code. This one was written to help immigrants to Canada to land their dream job. As an immigrant to Canada myself, I know how hard of a nut that can be to crack. So I got the opportunity to collaborate with a bunch of veteran immigrants. So people who have been in the country, or veteran immigrants who have been in the country for 25 years, 5 years, maybe 2 years, and people who are relatively new, and just got to interact with them and just partner with them in putting that together as well. The last one, right most, is the Identity Manual. So I went through a season in my life where I felt like I did not know who I was. I struggled a lot with a number of identity-related issues. For example, very low self-esteem, almost zero to very little confidence, and a couple of other issues. And I remember down there in the trenches, I said to myself, and I also just said to God that once I got out from that place, I was going to help as many people as possible, to get out from there and hopefully not allow them get into that place. And that's what drove me to write this book. And I'm just very grateful for the opportunities that I've had of these books. I've been able to impact a number of people. So I'm very thankful for that. The end. And the way they say in the fairy tales movies, and he lived happily ever after with some princess in a castle. Oh, yeah, I don't have any pictures of that. Yeah. All right. So, I didn't share that story to impress you or anything, but hopefully just to inspire you to believe that anything is possible if you believe. So thinking about those goals and the visions that you have for yourself in the different areas of your life, I just want to assure you that they are possible. Anything is possible if we believe and if we're willing to work diligently for what we desire in life. And I'm a person of faith, so I also believe that by the power of God too, anything is possible. And if there's anything you're going to leave away here, I'm hoping this is going to be one of that as well, that anything is possible if you believe. So if you actually believe that, I also like you to just type in the chat, I believe. You can type in the chat, I believe. So again, like I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to be, just asking, just as a way of getting us engaged on this platform. So just playful out. Let's make the most of the time we have here together. And I'm sure it's going to be awesome and amazing. All right. So I see a bunch of people typing in, I believe. Let's go. All right. So a very quick exercise. So when you think about, New Year's resolution, right? What percentage of people do you think stick to their goals? That is, that New Year's resolution after the year end. Is it 50%? Is it 85%? Is it 6%? Is it 2%? Can you type your answer? What do you think is the response or your answer in the chat? Can you type your answer in the chat? Someone says 2%. Okay. Anybody else? D, 2%. Okay. Wow. 6%. All right. Anybody else want to try? Okay. C, 6%. Wow. All right. So I'm going to reveal the answer after that. Please don't type your answer again. All right. No, I'm just joking. Okay. So the answer is actually 6%. So a couple of people got it. Ali, Umboza, awesome. Great job. Great job. Great job. Okay. I don't have present for anything, but maybe I'll just give you a virtual high five wherever you are. Okay. All right. So the answer is actually 6%. So in October this year, Forbes Health, they actually came up with a report. They did some studies in the States across a bunch of, a wide range of people, people like, young adults, senior people, and, way younger people. And from that study, I'm going to just share some highlights from the study here. So as you can see, about less than a month into the new year, we have around maybe like 1% of people that's, they're like giving up on their goal, and people who are like sticking to their goal rather. And by the time we get to the second and the third month, that's where you have like, the most people. So the number just drops drastically. So you only have about 22% of people who are like sticking to it. But when you go like, further down, you see it's just about 6% of people who actually stick to their goals, their New Year's resolution. And this can be also very, very, very scary, right? Because again, you probably heard a number of times, not many people who start off pursuing a particular goal at the beginning of the year stay consistent with it. And this study just shows how true this is. And just in terms of the kind of goals that most people were looking to achieve, here's an idea. So first of all, most people are looking to improve their fitness. So about 38% of people were looking to get in good shape, obviously, so they can feel more confident and comfortable in their own skin. And next, we have 38% of people who are looking to improve their finances. Obviously, the money talks out. That's a very important one for sure. And some people are looking to lose weight and also improve that diet. So these are some of the top goals that, most people, they are looking to make improvements in the new year. And I would imagine that a number of you here as well, these are also some of the areas that you're looking to make significant changes in. And the idea is by the end of this webinar that you would find out and discover how you can be among the 6%. I don't know, are you guys open to, getting some tips on how you can be one of the 6%? If you are, can I just maybe see your thumbs up or yes or something in the chat, just so I know that you guys are following so far? Okay, awesome. Yes. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you on this webinar. So stick with me to the end. Awesome. So just an agenda. This is where I'm going with this presentation. I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of practices that I believe would help, that will help us to stick to our goals even after the year is over. So we'll be among the 6% of people who are crushing it, not just at the beginning of the year, but still staying consistent throughout the year. And that's exactly how we can make 2024 our best year yet. Then I'm going to conclude and then open the floor for question and answer. So if you have any questions right now, or you have any questions that come up, excuse me, in the course of the presentation, just feel free to put that down, and then during the question and answer session at the end, you can ask your questions. Okay. All right, let us go. If you're following me so far, can I just see you type a yes in the chat? And hey, if you have like a emoji of the smiley face with the glasses, I don't know if that one is very, 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 very rare. Maybe I'm the only one who had to say, you can just type a yes and, oh, somebody typed it. Oh my God, I didn't know it existed. Okay, well, yours is not like smiling, like tootsie smile like this, but it's all good. All right, let's go. So in terms of the practices, practice number one is for us to reflect on 2023. There's a popular saying, you guys probably know, it's that insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And so if we are going to make 2024 better than 2023, it just means that we have to really understand, how did 2023 go for me? What exactly did my 2023 look like? So that's, I believe, is the first step, understanding and reflecting on 2023 so that we can learn more about the year, and get an insight on it. And based on the insights, we're able to do things differently so that 2024 does not look like 2023. And obviously, because we want to also make 2024 our best year yet. So we want to know what we need to do differently so that we can make it better. Okay. So to help us along the lines, I believe that we want to take an honest inventory. Can someone type in the chat, inventory? Honest inventory. Inventory of 2023. We will definitely need to do that. And the way this would work is going to be for us to go take a look at, our calendars, our to-do list. We want to see what are some of those things that we did in 2023, especially towards the goals that we had set for ourselves. And in doing that, there are some of the questions that I believe we want to ask ourselves very, very honestly, right? Number one is, what worked? In other words, what did I do well in the pursuit of my goals? Maybe we had goals in the area of health and fitness or in the area of finances. So what were some of those things that you did? Or maybe it was in the area of career or business. So what were some of those things that you did that you were able to achieve certain results, positive outcome? Obviously, the goal is for us to keep doing the things that work and find out how we can do even more of those things that worked. I know, for example, when I got to do this exercise, one of the things that I realized that worked well was in webinars like this. I realized that doing webinars were more effective than just doing like live session, because on webinars, I was able to reach more people. And so that was one of the observations that I had. So after we've completed the first question, we want to go ahead to ask ourselves the second question. what didn't work. Obviously, we want to find out what did not work so that we can do less of it, or probably even zero, spend zero time on it, because the more we focus on what does not work, the less time we have to focus on the things that work, the things that can help us move the needle, which is obviously something that we always want to focus on. So I want to focus on, also identify rather, the things that did not work so we can scrap that away from our agenda in the new year. And one thing, for example, and this can be like patterns. It's not just activities, but it can be like pattern, behavioral patterns, some attitude, or settings that we want to get rid of and we want to let go of. So those will fall under this category, the category of number 2. Somebody typed in the chat, would I be recording? Yes, I'm going to have this available. So I'm going to send the list to the attendees after the event. It's not immediately after, but just give me some time and I'll definitely get that across to you guys. Okay. Awesome. Good question. So for example, like for me, one of the things that I realized did not really work well for me, I noticed that a number of times, especially when I have identified an action that I want to take, I tend to spend time I tend to spend time entertaining, like, doubts, right? And some fears, instead of just going in to channel my energy towards like the faith part or the belief part. And obviously, the more I focus on the doubt part and entertain the fear, the less likely I am to take action on what I know I should be doing. So that's definitely one thing that I identified. And after we're done with that, we want to then go to the third point, which is to identify what will I do differently based on what I now know from questions 1 and questions 2. Again, if we are going to have 2024 be better than 2023, we want to do things differently. And again, we want to take an honest inventory of 2023 so that we can do things better. And when we do things better, we'll be able to achieve better results. All right. Awesome. So that's practice number 1. The second practice is for us to create a compelling vision of 2024. Someone type in the chat, vision. So I know you're following me. Vision. If you type in the chat, vision, so I know you're following me. Okay, so we want to create a compelling vision of 2024. There's a number of times we can be very quick to jump into creating goals. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do, we jump very quickly to create goals, but we forget about the vision component. And that's why a number of times we can easily get demotivated. We get demotivated because nothing is pulling us, nothing is driving us. And that's exactly what the vision is meant to do. Like scripture says, should write the vision and make it plain so that he may run who sees it. So sometimes we can stop running. I will not be motivated to run because we're not seeing anything. And that's obviously because we did not create and establish the vision at the beginning. And that's why this is definitely one of the first things we want to do to create a compelling vision of the future that we want, which is the 2024. And to help us with creating that compelling vision, because again, the compelling vision is what describes our why. It's what would keep us going, even when things are difficult, when things are challenging, when we are not seeing the results, and we're not getting that progress with respect to the health and the fitness goal that we set for ourselves, or we're not really seeing things happen in the area of the financial goal. When we have a compelling vision, that's exactly what is going to pull us and draw us through those low and challenging periods in our life. And that's why it's definitely very important. So yeah, to help us with that compelling vision, here are some of the questions I believe we want to ask ourselves, right? So first of all, we want to just visualize that and just imagine that it is the end of 2024. So this is like December 31st, 2024, right? So what are some of those things that you're going to be, so these are some of the questions we want to ask ourselves, and just imagine that we are currently in December 31st, 2024. So you're asking yourself, like, who do I want to become, right? Who do I want to become? Am I going to be at that time, like, more courageous, more confident, right? I'm going to be a better, maybe for those who are like, better parents or better spouse or however it is. So that person that you want to become, like, who is that person that you want to become? A person of higher, will I say, integrity, right? And then asking ourselves, like, what wins am I going to be celebrating? Are you going to be celebrating the fact that you made significant progress towards your career goal, right? Maybe you got the promotion or you got the pay raise, or you started up that YouTube channel that you've always wanted to do, or you launched that business, right, that you've always had in mind. So what are some of those things that you're going to be celebrating? Just paint the picture of, what you're going to be doing and how you're going to feel at the time. And then asking yourself the question, how has my life changed? Again, notice how I'm asking this as though it already happened, because again, that's what we want to do. We call those things that don't exist as though they already do. It's definitely going to trigger us in a different way, like we're already living in that vision that we want for ourselves. And then last question would just be to ask, what am I most proud of? Looking at the end of 2024, what are the things that you're going to be celebrating? What are you most proud of? And so in asking ourselves these questions, we begin to paint that picture of that envisioned future that we want for ourselves in 2024. And that's exactly what is going to continue to give us the drive, to give us the motivation to keep pushing even through the thicks and the thins, because, hey, things usually get tough. You'll agree with me. But when we have a compelling vision, the compelling vision is going to give us the why. And make our why very strong, and our why will drive us through even the tough times. All right, so that's point number 2, creating a compelling vision. Definitely very, very important. So once we're done with the vision, we've had the vision. Maybe you are one of those, you like to create a vision board. I love vision board. You have a vision board, or you like to also write to paint a picture of the envisioned future that you want. So after you've put that in place, then we can now start talking about the goals that we can create to associate with the different vision, the vision that we have just painted for ourselves. So I say here, like to set guaranteed growth goal. So guaranteed growth goal. I just noticed the word growth in there, right? So the concept behind this guaranteed growth goal, and part of the reason it's guaranteed, is that it functions on the basis of us putting ourselves in environments that would guarantee our growth, environments that would cause us to stretch. We'll be in the room with different kinds of people who are aspiring for the same level of greatness, or who are pursuing similar vision and similar goals like us. There's a saying that we are the average of the 5 people that we spend most of our time with. And that's exactly the basis of this guaranteed growth goal. And it just really has us to get us to be in an environment where we just would be forced to grow no matter what. And obviously, when we grow, growth can be uncomfortable, but again, it's going to stretch us to become the best version of ourselves. And when we become better, then we can do things better. And when we do things better, we can achieve better results and outcomes in our lives. And that's why this is definitely very essential for our progress. 2023, some examples of the guaranteed growth goals that I had to set for myself, putting myself in environments. One of the areas was I was looking to improve my public speaking. I know I do like, a bunch of speaking engagements. I was always obviously, I always want to get better, and that's the idea. And so I decided to join Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is literally just it's a club where people join to further improve their communication and their leadership skills. So I didn't just join Toastmasters, but I also opted in for an executive role, which, obviously would be me stretching myself. And definitely that has helped me significantly and dramatically. I can't even tell you how much change I have experienced just within this year that I joined. The Franklin that existed at the beginning of the year is definitely not the same person that is speaking to you right now, especially in terms of the public speaking. And I just want to attribute that a lot to Toastmasters and the other speaking engagement that I have done as well. So that was one example. And then I remember also at the beginning of the year, I also signed up for swimming classes because I mean, I don't know how to swim, and I really wanted to improve in that area. But just going to swimming classes and seeing even little kids swimming, it almost seems intimidating sometimes. Like, see that guy, small boy. But yeah, it encourages you, when you get in the environment and you see people doing the things that you really want to do, you want to be good at, it really encourages you, and it really stretches and forces you to want to grow. And that's why, again, guaranteed growth goals definitely very important for us. So here I just put a distinction between growth goals versus destination goals. So destination goals, I know it's something that we set, and obviously it's not bad. Yeah, Sean, very good. Lifeguard, awesome. Yeah, swimming is a very, very awesome and fun sport exercise if you know how to swim. But until you learn how to swim, it can be a struggle. But yeah, it's good. Everybody started off. not knowing how to swim, but yeah, they did good as they continued to do it. All right. So thanks for sharing that, Sean. So I just wanted to put a distinction between growth goals versus destination goals. I know a number of times we hear a lot about destination goals, and destination goals, they deal a lot with specifics, right? Specific targets. And obviously they are different than the growth goal. So one thing that I really enjoy about and I love about around the growth goal is that growth goals, they focus more on progress as opposed to specific targets. This is very important because there are usually going to be times when, okay, you maybe set a particular goal for yourself, but you're not able to hit the targets, even though you put in a lot of efforts. If you're going based on the destination goal, you maybe failed, right? Because you don't hit the target. Meanwhile, you put in a lot of effort. But based on the growth goal, hey, that was like good success because progress of any kind, little or small, definitely needs to be celebrated. Progress is success for sure, because progress gives us motivation to keep going and to keep pushing. And it also makes us feel excited that we just made progress towards, we made, like a way forward towards the goal that we're pursuing. So definitely that is one distinction between the two. And the growth goal also functions on the model of the be, do, have, in the sense that we have to become a better version of ourselves, because obviously that's what the growth does for us. It stretches us. So we have to become a better version of ourselves. When we become better, then we can do better. And becoming better means that we are going to upgrade our mindsets. They say that success, 80% of success is psychology, which is mindset, and 20% is just mechanics, which is the doing parts. So we want to become a better version of ourselves mentally and in terms of our attitude. And when we become better, then we can do better. We can function at a higher and a more powerful state because now our mindset has been elevated, and then we can take elevated next level action. And in doing that, we would be able to achieve next level results, which is the half part. And that's what the growth goal, the concept of the growth goal functions on. But destination goal obviously would function on something different. Mostly it will focus on just doing. We do, we have, then we be. But, it's definitely not a way to achieve consistent success, because we always have to be first, then we do, and then we have. And then the other distinction is that when we're thinking about growth goal, we're always asking the question, how far can I go? But for destination goal, it's mostly how long will it take, right? We're thinking about how far can I go because we understand that we have limitless potential. When we focus a lot on the destination goal, when we hit one target, it can be very easy for us to just slouch and think that we've arrived. And for that reason, we're not going to stretch because we think we've achieved what we wanted. And we're not going to aspire to greater levels. And probably will become complacent. And when we're complacent, we can never reach our maximum potential. So we want to focus a lot more on growth because growth is always progressive. We are always continuously looking to get to the next level, because we're always looking to make progress. And we're always asking ourselves, how far can I go? Because, hey, we can never know how far we can go, but we just have to keep going because our potential is limitless. And that's also why I believe that, having growth goal definitely makes a whole lot of sense, right? All right, so moving on. So I just have this quote here. This quote literally just encapsulates everything I shared about the growth goal. So it's a quote by Hal Elroy, who is the creator of the Miracle Morning movement. How many of you know Miracle Morning? Yes? No? Okay. All right. Yeah, so the quote here says, the purpose of a goal isn't to hit it. The purpose of a goal is not to hit the goal. The real purpose is to develop yourself into the type of person who can achieve your goals, regardless of whether you hit that particular one or not. It is who you become by giving it everything you have until the last moment, regardless of your results. Regardless of your result, that matters most. So obviously, this kind of just spells out what I explained around growth goal, and we are focusing on just getting to the next level. So the goal should be really very big enough that it is almost out of reach, but it's not out of sight. Because if we can just do it on our own, then what's the point? We will never stretch. We're not stretching. We're not becoming better. Well, the goals that we set need to be growth oriented, such that we have to stretch to get to the next level and just keep going up that way. So that's the third point, sets guaranteed growth goals. And the fourth point is for us to get accountability. So let me just ask you a very quick question, and I want you to be honest. When was the last time you said to yourself that you were going to get something done, and then you ended up not doing it? And then compare that to the number of times you said you're going to get something done, and then you told somebody that you're going to do it. How many times did you stick to your commitment when you shared it to somebody? Or was it more or less often compared to when you just said you're going to do it yourself? I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, obviously we're likely going to stick to our commitments when we share it with people. And hey, that's just mostly because as human beings, we don't want to let other people down, right? We'll hardly let other people down, but we can easily let ourselves down. And that's why having accountability is definitely of paramount importance. And accountability can come in different shades of forms, right? It can be in the form of having like a coach that you're working with. It can be your peers that you're working with. It can also be that you have like, mentors or a community that is holding you accountable. And that's exactly just what it is. Accountability is just helping you to stick to the promise that you made to yourself, right? We want to stick to the promise that we made to ourselves. And I know for me, for example, there are different levels of accountability that, I've put in place, and it's been like tremendously important, ranging from coaches that I have that I work with to peers that I chat with, and also communities that I'm a part of. And they've dramatically and drastically just helped me to improve on the different areas of my life, because they literally help me to not just stick to the promise that I've made to myself, but they push me to become better every single time. And I am beyond grateful for those different levels of accountability that I've put in place in my life. So talking about accountability, definitely very useful on different fronts. I'm just going to share with you some of the benefits of having accountability. Definitely the first one here is that accountability, I'll just put accountability partners, right? They really encourage us and support us, especially in those hard times. And the hard times are those times when we're not seeing we're not seeing the kind of progress that we want towards that goal that we've set for ourselves. Maybe it's in the area of the fitness goal. We're not seeing the progress that we want for ourselves in that area. And what usually happens in times like that, we want to give up. We want to quit because, hey, it's not working. So we feel like we just want to give up. So those are very challenging times. And when you have someone who is going to be like accountability partner, they're going to work with you and support and also encourage you in those challenging times. They will also push you when you feel like being lazy, right? So maybe, for example, you've been doing and taking action that you want, and you're like, oh, I'm just going to take a break, right? I'm just going to take a break. And you want to just sleep and slouch. And the number of times, they say a little sleep, a little slumber, right? So accountability partners are definitely going to be there to really challenge us and to push us, because when we want to make significant progress towards our goal, it's not a matter of convenience, right? It's not a matter of convenience. It's not a matter of comfort, but it's a matter of commitment, right? We want to stick to the goals, the promises that we've made to ourselves, and accountability partners are definitely going to be there to help us make that happen. The other thing that they will definitely help us with is to celebrate our wins, right? So there's nothing as amazing and awesome as having other people join you in celebrating your progress. It is just awesome. And just knowing that, hey, these people wish me very well, right? They love to see me excel. They love to see me succeed. It's very, very encouraging, and it's very, very awesome. And that's definitely another thing that the accountability partners can help us with. And whatever it is that we celebrate also multiplies as well. The things that we share and they celebrate, they also multiply in our lives. The last but not the least here is that they help with boosting our self-belief. There are going to be times in life when we don't even believe in ourselves. There are going to be times when we don't believe that we can achieve certain goals. But when we have people who believe in us, we can hold on to the belief they have in us until our belief kicks in. And I've seen this happen in my life like so many different times. And I am forever grateful to, those accountability partners that I've had in the past, and I continue to also, stick to, that help me to believe in myself, that help me to believe I can do things, even when I don't even believe in myself. So these are some of the benefits that having accountability would help us with. And it will definitely also help us with staying consistent with our visions and our goals so that we can be a part of the 6% that I mentioned at the beginning. All right. Okay. So this is so that was the fourth. This is going to be the fifth practice. The fifth practice is for us to track our progress regularly. So there's a very common saying, maybe not common or popular, but it says that whatever we can measure, we can manage, and whatever we can measure, it also exists. But and then the corollary for that will just be that if we cannot track it, then we cannot measure it, and it does not exist. And that's why it's very important that when we're setting goals for ourselves, we want to have a way to measure our progress so that we can see whether or not we're making a headway. When we're not making a headway, we know for sure that we want to course correct and begin doing things differently. But when we're making progress, then we always want to keep doing what we're doing and even doing more of it. But again, we want to have a way to track our progress and track it regularly and very often. All right. So if there's anything else that you're going to leave away with, I'm hoping this is going to be one of it as well. So just imagine right now that I'm holding the megaphone like that lady, and I'm saying like, attention, please. I'm like yelling and screaming, and I'm screaming these words. Whatever we track improves. Whatever we don't track likely declines. This is definitely a very big reason why most people don't make progress towards their New Year's resolution or on their goal of any kind, because they don't have a way to track their progress consistently and regularly, right? And when we don't track our progress, so first of all, they maybe create a goal, they set a goal at the beginning of the year. So they're excited. Oh, I'm going to gym. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They're excited about the goal at the beginning part of the year. But just like I showed you at the beginning, only about 6% of people stick to their New Year's resolution and to their goal after or by year end. And I'm very, very certain that it's mostly because they're not tracking their progress, or because, say, they don't have accountability. So they don't have those things that I just shared with you. And that's probably one of the reasons why they're not able to stay consistent with their goals. So whatever it is that we track improves, and whatever we don't track, it will likely decline. And that's why we want to be checking, how well am I doing towards my fitness goal? How well am I doing towards my financial goal, right? We want to see how well we're doing on a consistent basis. It can be weekly. Weekly is great. And so weekly is great, and we don't have to wait until the year is ending before we can go back to revisit our goal, which obviously would be too late, because at that time, we cannot do anything at that time to change things, okay? And obviously, this is another reason why I believe we want to track our progress, because we want to celebrate our wins. We want to celebrate our wins, no matter how small they are. The small wins, actually, they are very important because they culminate and produce big wins. The little drops, like they say, make the wide ocean, right? So we want to celebrate our wins. We want to have a way to just track our progress, celebrate those wins, because as we celebrate our wins and celebrate our progress, we're more excited and we're motivated to keep doing more of what we're doing so that we can make more progress and have the big wins at the end. And whatever it is that we celebrate also multiplies in our lives. So that's also another reason why we want to track our progress towards our goals and our vision. If you follow me so far, can I see you type a yes in the chat? And obviously, we can do the smiley emoji so I can know that you guys are following. So yeah, okay. So those are like practices that I believe would help us significantly with sticking to our goals, so that we can be among the 6% of people, like I shared at the beginning, 6% of people who stick to their New Year's resolution or to their goals in the by the year end. All right. So again, like I just don't want this to be a session where people just come in and they're like just listening in and they don't really get to do anything. So I just have like some exercises that I would like for us to do. Again, if you remember, I talked about tracking progress, and this is definitely one of the ways we can track our progress. This is actually an exercise that I normally get my my clients to do at least once a month, because we want to see how well are you progressing in those different areas of your life. When we see how the progress is happening, if it's not happening the way that we expect, then we're like, okay, let's make some course correction. And obviously, if it's going on the way we expect, then it's like, let's do more of what we're doing and, do more of it as well. So I just want you to just, take some time and just think about yourself, right? In the different areas of your life, health and fitness, faith and spirituality, commitment and confidence. On a scale of 1 to 10, like how well are you doing? And I'll give you some time. I'll give you like 2 minutes on the clock. If you can just spend some time to just honestly, again, honest inventory. That's the first point. Take an honest inventory, because until we can be honest about where we are, it can also be almost impossible for us to make progress moving forward. So I'm just going to give you some time on the clock. So if you can just yeah, I'm giving some time, like 2 minutes on the clocks, and just for you to provide your response. And if you finish early, feel free to just share your say the areas where you had maybe like one area, for example, where you had the highest score, and then the other area where you had, say, like the lowest score. We just want to work together and see how people are doing. I'm also going to be sharing mine as well. So yeah. All right. So yeah, like I mentioned, just feel free to share yours. I know when I did this last, one of the areas where I was doing really very well would be in the area of faith and spirituality, and probably one of the lowest would be the career and the business. So that was it for me. So yeah, just feel free to chime in as well and share, just so we know where everybody is at as well. So with that said, I'm going to move on to the next one and just ask you to think about where you want to be in the area of, say, health and fitness, faith and spirituality, up until confidence and commitment. Say like in the next, like 6 months, in the next 6 to 12 months, that's going to be going into the new year. So where would you like to be, right? On a scale of 1 to 10. I know we just did the exercise where we gauged where we are at. So now where do you want to be in the next 6 to 12 months in these different areas? So the same thing too, I'm going to give you some time to put the same as well, to work on the same as well. Thanks for sharing, Umboza, highest happiness, awesome. And then lowest career and business, awesome. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, we're gonna get started for the next. I'll give you 2 minutes. Time starts now. All right. Okay. So yeah, I see some people sharing the charts where they are. Awesome. Thanks for sharing, George. Karia, Catherine. Okay, 5. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing, guys. And it's just very good for us to acknowledge and to have an awareness of where we are at, because self-awareness is the first step rather to self-improvement. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for sharing. And obviously I'm hoping that in the next 6 to 12 months that you've projected that you would like to go higher in those areas as well, which is great. All right. So the bonus point, this is like Christmas period, so I'm feeling really very generous. So I said I was going to share 5, but yeah, I just wanted to like throw in one more. So how many of you here have fears? If you have fears, can I just see you type a yes in the chat? If you type no, then maybe you're claiming you don't have any fears. But if you have fears, can I see you type a yes in the chat? Nobody. Bro, anybody? Okay, yeah, I see some people type. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I remember there was actually a phase in my life, a stage in my life where I was living in denial around fear. In fact, I remember I was at university one time and I remember in the class, it was a business course. It was one of the first classes for the course. And the professor, I remember he kind of like gathered us into different groups. It was groups of 4. So there were two guys in my group and then 2 girls. Obviously, I was one of the guys. And he had us do an exercise. In the exercise, he asked us to share amongst ourselves what we were afraid of. And I took turn. I was the first because I wanted to be like, I don't know who I was taking to impress at that time. I just don't. So I was the first to go. And then I shared with them that, hey, I didn't have any fears, I was like claiming like Superman or Macho Man, like, yeah, I'm not afraid of anything. I was like fearless. And then the next guy went, he was trying to copy my vibe. So it was like, yeah, it was even like giving the attitude too, but so I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid of anything. And obviously, we were trying to maybe impress the ladies there. I don't know why, but that was like back in the days, back then. So the ladies, we went ahead and they shared what they were afraid of, like snake and all of those things. And then everybody, they would disperse and we went back to our seats. And the next thing the professor started off with was, I don't know what your group mates told you, but everyone has fears. I just felt like the guy exposed me, like he burst my balloons at that time. I felt like, those crushing inside of my chest, and I was really very embarrassed. I was like, damn, I kind of learned a lot of lesson at the time. But to cut the long story short, I believe so strongly that, hey, like we all have fears, and it's not something for us to shy away from. Obviously, fear is just a natural emotion. The same way that we experience joy and happiness and sadness, hey, that's exactly the same way that we experience fear. So it's not something for us to ignore or to live in denial of. And in fact, looking back, I realized that part of the major reason that fear had a grip on my life was because I was living in denial of it, and that's why it really had a grip and it controlled me. But again, I later learned that, hey, it's fine, that I want to not necessarily embrace, but I want to acknowledge my fear. And when I started acknowledging my fears, it was actually the beginning phase of fear losing its grip of me. And this is a very important topic. I really wanted to just touch very quickly on it because we can set the goals, we can create the vision, we can do every single thing, we can have accountability. But if we don't learn how to overcome fear, fear will definitely rule over us. It's going to grip us, it's going to cage us, it's going to steal our dream, it's going to kill our vision. So we definitely want to learn to manage fear. When we don't learn to manage fear, then fear is going to control us and it's going to keep us in its cage. And that's why I really wanted to just touch on this so that we can enter 2024 where we're unrestrained. We can just jump out and do what we have created the vision and set the goals around, okay? So there are 3 major ways by which we relate with fear. And I'm going to be presenting those as an acronym to fear. But before that, I want to be sure that everyone is aware that at the end, there's going to be a question and answer section. So if you have any questions that's, like just, popping up in your mind, just keep it. And then at the end, there's going to be time for question and answer. So you can ask your questions as well. All right. Okay. So moving on. The first way by which we interact with fear, related to fear, is this acronym here: forget everything and run. So this is when we think to ourselves, oh, I don't have what it takes to make it happen, to achieve that my vision, to achieve that my goal. And I don't think I can overcome this fear. So we think this. And so whenever fear comes knocking on our door, we put our goal aside, we pack our dream, and we run. We run away, we run to the hill, and maybe never look back. And this is almost like a natural, will I say, response instinct. The flight, fight, or the freeze. We fly when we, by default, when we are faced with fear. I remember when, like a long time ago, before I even started, like, speaking and doing what, any kind of speaking engagement, I used to have, like, dreams, like vivid vision and vivid and dreams, when I was sleeping, about me speaking in front of, like audience, like big audience and also small one. But honestly, because I was very timid and shy at the time, they weren't like dreams. They were actually like nightmares to me because that was the last thing I ever wanted to see myself doing. But hey, I had some opportunities to speak, but because again, I was terrified, I was scared. So I forgot everything, the vision and the goal, and I ran away. I ran away and I never looked back. So that's first acronym for fear. The second acronym for fear, obviously, as I'm going through these acronyms, I want you to just be thinking about where am I? How am I relating with fear? And what do I want my new relationship to be with fear as we enter in 2024, okay? So the second acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. This is when we think to ourselves, oh, what if I fail at this? What if X, Y, Z happens and I mess up? Because, we are afraid that we are going to fail at the thing that we are looking to do. And obviously, as part of this, part of the way we exhibit this acronym as well is that when we're trying to do something we haven't, especially something that we haven't done before, or we're taking action towards our goal, we think about all the possible terrible things that can happen. We harbor a lot of negative what if thoughts. And because in life, we tend to attract the things we focus on most of the time, those terrible things tend to happen in our life, which is, really very, very sad. And obviously, I remember even in my, like, with my speaking journey, there were so many instances where the same thing too happened when I was looking to, before I would get on stages or present myself to an audience, especially back in the days, I would always focus on terrible things happening on, oh, I'm going to mess up, I'm going to mess up. And you know what? I actually did mess up so many times. And I messed up so bad that a number of times when people who knew my mess up stories in the past, when they saw me going to the stage or going to grab the mic, they're already like, they're already like, chuckling and laughing because they're like, oh, he's just going there to mess up. So that's how bad it happened. And obviously that was because I was always, I'm focusing on the false evidences appearing real. And then the last way that we relate with fear is face everything and rise. Obviously, this is a very empowering one. And this is when we think to ourselves, I feel the fear, but I'm going to do it anyway because I believe I know I have what it takes to make it happen. And to me, this is like courage. This is a sheer exhibition of courage because, like they say, courage is not the absence of fear, but it is feeling the fear and doing it anyway because we believe that, we have what it takes to make it happen. And because we also believe that, God is with us and God is for us. And that's why we can move ahead to face whatever it is that life throws at us. And obviously, like with my story as well, with, speaking, I was just tired of being afraid of fear. I was tired of those negative what if thoughts plaguing my life. So I just decided that, hey, I'm going to, jump in and do it. And even like, with the webinars, I remember even as at September, it was something that I was terrified about doing. But hey, one of my coaches, like, just pushed me and nudged me into doing it. And I'm like, okay, let us go. So I decided to face that fear. And here I am today. And this is also something that I really want to, have you guys think about as well. That when we allow fear to hold us back, we shrink. But when we break through the fear and do the scary thing, we grow. We grow to become better versions of ourselves. And also just thinking of the fact that we have, like every single one of you here, I have no doubts that, you have something valuable to share with the world. You have gift, you have talent, and you have a story to share as well. Like your voice is needed in the world. But each time we allow fear to hold us back, each time we allow fear to shut our voice, there are obviously going to be so many people out there who are going to be deprived of the blessings that we have to share with them. And hey, it's just not going to be a pleasant thing. And that's something that I always, think about as well. Imagine if, for example, like the webinar from last month, which, people attended, and I had a lot of positive feedback. I was imagining, what if I had allowed fear to just hold me back? Man, all of those people wouldn't have benefited from it, and, lives would not have been impacted as well. And I'm hoping that, as you're here as well, that, you're able to take these things that I'm sharing and also apply them. And I'm sure that you're going to see a huge transformation. And I'm just thinking to myself, what if I just said yes to fear? And I didn't jump on to host the webinar, even though many people who signed up did not show up. But I'm like, what if I still said yes to the fear? Probably people who joined in here probably not, live with valuable information that has the ability to transform and to change. So that's something that I just want everyone to think about, even as we what I want everyone to think about as we, navigate our fears. So someone once said, Jack Canfield, more specifically, he's the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, multiple-time best-selling book series. He once said that everything you want is on the other side of fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. And so this is something, to think about. And I believe what he said 100%. And obviously, because, for every level that we're about to go up to, there's going to be like, some form of fears that we'll have to face and we have to overcome. And you know what? The funny thing is that when we jump on the other side, we're going to realize that the things that we're afraid of are not as terrifying and scary as we actually thought. It's almost always in our head. And this is something that I keep, realizing each time I take one uncomfortable action after the other. I just come to realize that, hey, this thing is not even as scary as I thought. The mind is just looking to keep us safe and keep us stuck as well. So that's something I really want to challenge everyone here on the call as well, and also on the challenge as well, to say yes more often, right? To not allow fear to hold you back. And a number of times procrastination is just fear underneath the covers, right? So say no to procrastination. Procrastination is just fear underneath the covers because we're afraid of the fact that things may not go the way we want, right? So there's a lot of fear of failure and fear of success that's underneath the covers of procrastination. So say no to that as well. And as we enter in 2023, as we're wrapping up the 2024, I really want to encourage you and invite you to embrace the empowering and the victor mindset. Victor mindset when facing your fear, and you approach it with the third acronym, face everything and rise. I believe in doing it that way, we're going to be unstoppable as we pursue a life of purpose and fulfillment, especially as we enter in 2024, looking to make it our best year yet. So if you're committed to facing fear with this approach, face everything and rise, can I see you type in the chat, committed? Type in the chat, committed. So let me see those who are committed to facing fear with this mindset, face everything and rise, doing it differently than it was before. Committed. Can I see you type in the chat, committed? Awesome, awesome. Okay, awesome. You guys are committed. That's really very good. I'm also very committed to doing it that way as well. All right. So if you're following me so far in the chat, can I see you type a yes in the chat? I know we're going to be wrapping up really very soon, so just hang on with me a bit. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, we're not gonna have the time to do this. I want to respect everybody's time at this point, but this is something, I would just like for you to think about, as we leave here. So think about those two actions, for example, that you've been meaning to take, but you're just afraid of taking them, obviously because of fear. And I want you to think about those two actions, and I'm hoping that after this call, you're going to commit to taking those actions. And also ask yourself, what's been holding me back from taking those actions, right? And this quote, think about this and remember this quote. It says here, do one thing every day that scares you. Those small things that make us uncomfortable help us build courage to do the work we do. Something to think about as we leave here as well. And yes, if you have any questions, please send it directly to me in the chat. And after the the presentation, we're going to have the question and answer section, okay? All right. So at this point, can I just, if you found this valuable, can I just maybe like see your hand up or just type yes in the chat if you found this useful? Can I see your hand, type a yes in the chat? Yes? I know if you found this useful so far. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. That's really very good. I'm glad to hear. Yeah, so yes, I just want to also share this as well, you found this useful, then you're going to also find this one valuable, what I'm about to share here. So in the course of my my journey doing like, speaking and coaching, I've had the opportunity to have interacted with a number of people, right? Different groups of people. And there's usually this group of people that I meet with who are usually at a place where they are very frustrated. They're feeling really very frustrated, and they are almost at the verge of, like giving up and quitting, mostly because they've taken so many different actions in the direction of their goals, but they're not making much progress. And they're not making much progress because when I got to dig deep, mostly because they lack clarity. They lack clarity with their vision. They lack clarity with their goals. So it just seems like they're taking actions here and there, but they're not seeing progress, obviously because they lack clarity in their vision. And in a number of cases, man, these guys are like, they were like, very frustrated, and they had lost confidence, like in themselves, and also in their ability to get things done. And their self-esteem also took a hit. But thankfully, I've gotten the chance to connect with a number of these people and literally like help them out to get like that clarity, and also assisted them with making their goals become a reality, even like, faster as well. And I'm just very thankful for the opportunity to do that. One example is a client of mine. I'll call him Matt. So I remember the first time I got to meet with Matt sometime last year. So he was at a place where he literally was, stuck across different areas. He was looking to move up and achieve some next level success in different areas of his life. For example, in the area of his career, right? In the area of his finances, he wanted to also get closer in the relationship with God, and also make progress with respect to his health and fitness. And most importantly, whenever he thought about his purpose and also his future, he had this sense of uncertainty, which was bringing about a lot of fear in his life. So yeah, we got connected. I got connected with him, and we had a clarity call where I literally helped him to go deep on his goals and also on his vision, on his God goals as well. So we put together a plan of action, and hey, we started off working together. In the next couple of months, fast forward, his results were astronomically, amazingly awesome. For example, in the area of his career, he literally landed a promotion and then a pay raise on the exact same dates that he had written down that he wanted, which was like surreal. And that was really very important to him because, as you can see, Matt was looking to save up to buy his first house. So that was it meant a lot to him at the time. And obviously, we had a couple other goals that we put in place to further help him to increase his income. In addition to that, in the area of his health and fitness, he just consistently kept hitting his the milestones he has set, which was awesome. And he also obviously felt more confident in his own skin. And his relationship with God definitely got to improve, and he felt more closely connected with God. And most importantly, now when he thinks about his purpose and his future, he doesn't think about it with that uncertainty. And according to him, he believed that he has what it takes to face whatever life throws at him. That was like confidence right there on a different level. So I'm just very thankful for the story of like Matt and some other people who have been able to help through my coaching program. So, if what I just shared with you what I just shared resonates with you, and maybe you feel like you're at that same place where Matthew was when I met him initially, maybe you're at a place where, say, you're looking to increase your income so that you can, say, buy like that house, or you want to donate more to charity, or you're at a place where you're looking to, say, get in better shape so that you can feel more confident and comfortable in your own skin. Or maybe you're just looking to, grow your connection and relationship with God, whatever it is, wherever you're looking to just get some clarity with your vision or your goals. If that's something that you really need, I am more than happy to support you on that journey. And in fact, this is part of my my Christmas offer. I have like my Santa hat right here. My Christmas offer. So if this is something that you need right now, hey, I'm going to be happy to support you on that journey. And I have a spot for 10 people. So if it's something that you're interested in, I just want to encourage you to follow the link and go sign up. Go schedule your call, and let me help you make progress towards those goals. Let me help you to make progress towards those personal and professional goals that you may have for yourself. I'm going to share the link. So if it's something that you're interested in, I strongly want to encourage you to just go schedule a call with me. And at the end of the call, obviously, like I mentioned here, you're going to be crystal clear on your personal and professional goals and visions, and you have like a clear action plan for that. as well as a very clear system to help you to track your goals. Obviously, in the call, we've seen how important it is for us to track our progress. So 10 slots. Normally, this call or the session is valued at $125, but because folks are here, you don't have to worry about that. And finally, even if you're not interested in my coaching program, which obviously is amazing and awesome, you can still go schedule the call. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. You're going to leave the call with huge and massive value. So again, this is something that you're interested in. I just set the link in the chat. So go schedule and let me help you achieve like that next level success and make 2024 be a part of your journey in 2024. All right. All right. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to you can message me on the chat privately. I think I have a question here. So the question here says, let me see. So there's a question here that talks about, okay, like I've heard you talk about activity-based goals versus result-based goals. What's the difference and which one is more effective? Awesome. This is a very good question. So activity-based goals and result-based goals, those are like, two different things. So for example, somebody can set a goal that, okay, I want to lose weight. Okay, that one is very vague. So the person can be like, okay, I want to be weighing, say, 80 kg by the end of, say, June 31st. 30 days after. Okay, sorry, June 30th, 2024. So that's like the outcome the person wants. That's the result the person wants. But for that result to happen, there has to be a corresponding activity that needs to be done. What does that person have to do, right, to achieve that result? Okay, the activity, so that's the result-based goal. The activity-based goal could be then that, okay, this person says, I want to be hitting the gym 3 times minimum in a week. And I want to be working out, say, for an hour or more. So that's the activity-based goal. So pretty much the idea is for every result-based goal that we set, we have to follow that up with an activity-based goal. Otherwise, the result is just going to be there looking at us. We want to be able to take action proactively towards the goals that we want for ourselves. So that's, the difference between the two. And obviously, I wouldn't really say that one is better than the other, but the idea is that we have to have both. For every activity or results that we want, we need to back it up with action because, hey, nothing is going to happen if we don't take any action towards our goals. So I hope that kind of answers the question. So yeah, if you have any questions, please send it to me privately. If you put it in the, everyone's chat, it can get buried. So if you have any questions, send it to me privately, and then I'll be sure to answer it to the best of my abilities. All right. So I have another question here. So the question is around, okay. All right. Okay, so the question here is, when it comes to goal setting, what role does forming habits play? In essence, how do habits help us achieve our goals? Okay, awesome. Okay, that's a very good question for sure. So obviously, they say that we form our habits and our habits form us. And this is also going back to something I talked about in one of the slides, the be, do, have. So definitely, yes, going by that quote that we make our habits and our habits make us. If there is any result we want to achieve, especially if we want that result to be long-lasting, we definitely want to create a routine around it. The routine is what helps us to be consistent towards our goals. And consistency, when it comes to success, consistency is the key to success. If we are just going to take one action one time and think we're going to get a result we want, and I think we'll probably be misled. So to answer the question, I believe that habits/routine, they help us to stay consistent towards our goal. A very good example, if say somebody is looking to someone is looking to exercise and be more active in the morning, and they want to ensure that the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning is to do something, do like an exercise. One of the habits the person can just put in place is, okay, they're going to have their shoe just by their bedside, or they're going to have their workout clothes just on their bed right next to them, so that every morning when they wake up, it becomes easy for them to just wear their clothes, put on the shoes, and go take a walk. So that is how we create habits, right? You create habits, you make it very easy for yourself to do something consistently so that you can get the results you want and also maintain the results you want so that we are not just like one-hit wonders, right? One-hit wonders. We hit the jackpot one time. And that's why obviously people who hit the jackpot a number of times, they go like, bankrupt, within a couple of months because they have not been able to train themselves. They've not built the habits to help them to maintain financial success. And habit creation definitely is very, very important for us to maintain consistent level of success. I hope that kind of answers the question. Okay, so yeah, I think I have another question. I'm going to answer this last question. Okay, so thanks for sticking around. I know I said we're going to be done by 4:15, but this is 4:18. So I'm just going to answer this one last question, maybe like two more very quickly. And if you have any question, again, hey, feel free to post it and in the chat, and we'll be wrapping up very soon. Thanks for those who are sticking around. I'll definitely love to have your questions answered. So if you have any questions, please, either around what I just shared, or even if it's around the complementary clarity call. If you have any questions around that, you can also send it to me as well. So another question is, you talked about having accountability. How has that helped you so far on your journey? Oh my God, I'm glad you asked. So just like I shared with you guys that there are different areas in my life where I have accountability put in place. Like I have like coaches that I work with and helping me in the area of just life and business. I'm coaching as well, helping me with like marketing, understanding putting systems in place, and also with coaching as well, because that's also part of what I do as a life coach. So I have like coaches who they don't just point me in the right direction, but they also challenge me. A very good example, I think I shared this earlier. When it comes to putting webinars together, like, man, the only webinars that say I've done before this year was one that I hosted with a couple other people, Step Up. So if you don't know about Step Up, please be sure to follow me so that when Step Up is happening next year, you're going to be put in the loop. So yeah. So apart from that one, I just never done any form of webinars like this. And so I'd only been doing Facebook Live or IG Live, where I was not able to reach a lot of people. So I had one of my coaches literally call me out on that. She pushed me to put a webinar together. So as at September, I was like, I'm not interested in doing webinars because I was, terrified and afraid. But I had one of my coaches actually push me. And so the first of the solo webinars that I did was the one from last month, which was awesome. A lot of people joined in, a lot more people. I think I had about 30 something people who joined, which is awesome. But yet a lot of people did not join compared to the number of people who signed up, which is fine as well. But that was the first one that I did. And I was like, wow. Again, going back to the fear that I mentioned, face everything and rise. I got to realize on the other side, the thing that I was afraid of was not even as terrifying as I thought, right? So yes, that was another area where, man, having accountability has been very, very instrumental to my success. And obviously in so many other areas as well, I've had I have mentors that I interact with on different levels, different areas in life, and they just help me a lot in the area of career, spirituality, and just personal life in general. And I have a couple of peers that I link up with on a weekly basis. We just talk about how we can support one another and hold one another accountable to their goals that we have set for ourselves on a weekly basis. So that kind of keeps me on my toes, and I always have people who are checking in with me so that just to ensure that I am doing what I said that I'm going to do. So honestly, I sometimes it's very hard for me to imagine how people can live their life without having mentors or peers of accountability, because man, if we really want to step up in our game, if we want to achieve significant level of success consistently, then we definitely need accountability. We need people who are going to hold us accountable to the promises and the commitments we have set to ourselves, because on our own, we are likely just going to slouch as well. So yeah, that's how accountability has been super duper beneficial for me on my journey. And I hope that kind of answers your question. All right. I don't have any more questions at the points, and this is 4:21, so I want to be respectful of people's time. So thank you for sticking around for the remaining parts of the for the extra minutes. And again, if you, like I mentioned, for the complementary clarity call, if it's something that you feel that you need at this point, hey, I'm here to support you on your journey. So go ahead, schedule the call. Let me help you, with just having clarity on the vision, especially for 2024, and also putting up together a plan of action to help you achieve those goals. And again, even if you're not interested in my life coaching program, that is fine. Still sign up. You're going to leave that session with a lot of clarity. In fact, I just completed it with somebody like last week, and um, man, they were really very thankful. At the end of the call, they were like, "Thank you so much. I'm very, very clear on what I know, what I should be doing next." And I think the upper week as well, I did it with someone, and the person sent me an email the next day that made me almost cry because of how impactful it was to them. So if it's something that you need help with, I'm here to support you on your journey. So schedule the call and let me help you prepare and put that plan for making 2023 your 2024, sorry, your best year yet. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate, and I hope you guys will have a glorious, amazing, and a great 2024. So Merry Christmas. Wearing my Christmas hats, Santa hats. Ho, ho, ho. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you found it beneficial and valuable. And keep your eyes open. I'm going to be sending an email just to get some, like a survey. I'm sending a survey to you guys. I want to hear how you guys found this, just helping me to further prepare for the subsequent ones as well. So thank you so much for your time, guys. And I wish you the best. So let's go crush 2024 and make it our best year yet. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in advance. Ho, ho, ho. Bye, guys. I'm going to stop the recording.